Welcome everyone to the QSC booth. Thank you all for being here. This is our 50th anniversary. For all of you that may not be aware, we're actually celebrating 50 years of being a company. So thank you all for sharing in this experience with us. And today we are joined by the fantastically talented Mr. Jordan Rudess, keyboard player for Dream Theater, many other projects. And I think Jordan is asked to do a little bit of a opening performance for us with his GeoShred app. So we'll give him the stage.
Can we kill that?
Yes. Okay. How do we bring that down? There we go. Yeah, they'll pull it down. There we go. Okay.
Check 1, 2.
There we go.
Hey everybody, so I thought I'd just start off our little interview here by blasting something out on my latest app, GeoShred, which is it's an instrument for the iPad. It basically is based on a physical model. And one of the cool things that the new version of GeoShred can do is it will allow you to have backing tracks assigned to different patches, and you can have particular scales laid out on the surface, and it's really, really fun. So before I hit the backing track, I'll play a little bit and let you hear what's going on.
Awesome. Yep. He's got the iPad. He's going to bring it up. Yeah. You got it. Oh, yeah. Can you stick around and open all of our interviews that way? Well, that was incredible. One more big round of applause for that opening. That was amazing, guys.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. People are like, what is that thing? What kind of video game are you playing on there? That's, for those of you who just joined us because you heard the sound, that is my company, Wisdom Music's latest app. It's called GeoShred. Feel free after the interview to go downstairs and check it out in Hall E. It's at the Mo Forte booth. But thanks for listening. Thanks for having me do that. And of course, it sounds amazing coming out of your speakers. And that's the reason I'm here.
And that's the reason you're here.
Which is the segue to begin this little discussion.
That was beautiful. I don't even need to be on the stage at this point. You can just do the whole interview for me. No, thank you for joining us again. You were here yesterday with us, and we appreciate you coming back and spending some time. We know it's a hectic weekend for you.
Fun though, fun.
Yeah,
though. Yeah, it's all good.
So we'll kind of open up similarly for those that are in the crowd that may not be familiar with your work. If you can just give us a brief rundown of some of the projects that you've worked with in your career.
Yeah, so I'm in a little outfit that's known as Dream Theater.
The up-and-comers.
Right, we're new to the scene. It's only been about 30 years. And but before that, I started out playing classical piano. If my classical piano teacher could see me rocking on GeoShred right now, I don't know, she'd be happy or probably rolling over in the grave about this point.
This was probably a little bit of middle ground there, I'm sure.
Middle ground. Good comment. So so I started out playing classical piano. When I was 13 years old, I saw The Who at the Fillmore East in 1969. Kind of shook me up a little bit, and I thought, well, maybe there's something out there other than classical piano. But I remained on my path until I was about 17, and somebody brought over the Emerson, Lake and Palmer Tarkus album for me to hear. And I heard it once, and I heard it again, and I heard it another time, and I couldn't stop listening to it because it was the power of this keyboard playing that was blowing my mind. I was like, oh my God.
That was really what brought keyboard kind of to the forefront of rock music was that album.
Yeah, it totally did. Well, definitely brought it to the forefront for me.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I think I started to post pictures of Hammond organs and mini Moogs and all that on my wall, and started me down a whole nother path that my Juilliard instructors were not too pleased about. But it all kind of worked out.
I like that I grew up with like pictures of James Hetfield and Ozzy Osbourne on my walls, and you grew up with pictures of Hammond organs on your walls.
Right,
so.
right, exactly. and Rick Wakeman with his hair down to his knees and all that kind of stuff.
Absolutely. Yeah. So your experience with QSC, you've been using our products for a few years now. And can you give us a little background on how you got started with with our stuff?
Yeah, way back when, I used to do a lot of clinics for Korg and Kurzweil and different stuff, and would always be frustrated because I'm hopping around all these music stores and they could never quite get it right. You know, the sound was always whatever they put up there, and I wasn't thinking about, well, I want to have a particular speaker when I do it. So I was letting them just give me whatever it was. But one day I walked into one of the music stores up in Boston, and walked in, and they had everything set up. It was great. It was all ready to go. And I just like touched my keyboard, and I went, oh my God, this sounds amazing. So I said, my wife was there too, and she was like, you know, also, it sounds really, really good. So of course I had to know what it was that was making it sound so good. So they were using QSC monitors. They were all ready to go. They were beautiful. I think they were the K12s, the original K12s. And they just sounded so good that I was like, okay, well, from now on, this is now the new bar. So if I'd go somewhere to do something, I'd be like, well, do you have the K12s?
Yep.
You know, then I got them from my own rig, and I have them at home, and you know, and I know that things have been all going uphill since there with the new line and
even
everything.
with the K.2. So
K.2, yeah.
You know, similarly when we launched the K series, it was the new standard. And now the K.2 is the next standard. Yeah. So we've improved even that much more.
Yeah, any one of these days you can turn me on to it.
You know what? I know a guy.
All right, I know a guy that knows a guy that knows a guy. Right, cool. Yeah.
I'll get you in contact with somebody.
All right, please. I'll give you my text card. You can do it.
So when you kind of experience these speakers, it's just a clarity. You're hearing more the high fidelity of the keyboard, because obviously the instrument it itself has to have the feel that you put into it to get the sound out of it that you want.
Yeah, I've always been like kind of hypersensitive to sound. I guess that's why I'm in the synthesizer business, you know, working with all the different kind of synthesizers and ways to manipulate sound. So I'm I'm into that, but I'm also just enormously sensitive to it.
Mm-hmm.
So if anything is like, poking out in the wrong way, or there's frequencies that are just annoying, or any like rattling or anything, I'm noticing it.
Yeah.
So, the very satisfying thing about your speakers here at QSC is they're beautiful. They're balanced. They just sound good. You can use them if you're doing a gig. You're going out to a club or whatever. You want to put them up on a pole. Like the K12s I had. Or I had some K10s.
Yep.
A small gig. I would just take them out, put them on a pole, and for the audience.
Yeah.
It'd be great. And put them down as monitors. So they'll just really do the job. They sound beautiful.
Well, that's fantastic. Well, I think you'll love the K.2s. We'll get you some of those, and
Right on.
I think the. We took something that was really fantastic and quite honestly the #1 seller for us.
That's awesome.
And made it even better. So
Wow.
it'll just that much more improvement.
Right on.
You got some other projects going on. Obviously, we opened up with the GeoShred. You've got a few apps at this point that you put out that are synthesis based. So what's going on in that world?
So I have three apps right now based on the GeoShred concept. One is called Pro, one is called Play, and one is called Control. Pro is at the kind of the top of the pyramid and does everything. It's actually a very amazing MIDI controller. It'll do this new thing called MPE MIDI, which allows you to have a different channel of information on every touch.
Oh, no kidding. Okay.
It's really, really phenomenal, and kind of lets you control your synthesizers, any MIDI rig, in a way that you've never been able to before.
Yeah, I can
imagine. If you heard me play the blues thing, you saw me like doing a lot of sliding and then playing definite diatonic pitches. Well, all that kind of intelligent pitch control can be sent out to whatever you want through the Control app, GeoShred Control. So
Wow.
that's been a big focus of mine. But I'm also camped out at Stanford for a few months, working with their computer music people. So there should be some interesting things that come out of that as well. And then after that, I'm going to actually float around Europe for a month doing solo piano concerts.
That's great.
Yeah.
Taking it back to the old school.
Yeah, piano concert. And a couple on the West Coast, too, so we have to stay tuned for that. I think
Awesome.
I'll play like in L.A. and definitely in San Francisco. But
And those
then...
those are solo performances?
Solo piano.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, you remember the piano before...
Piano. I think I heard about one of those once.
After the interview, I'll let you know what it is. Yeah,
Those
it's
came before
old.
the Game Boy, right?
It's old, yeah.
Okay.
So, and then that brings me up to the time when Dream Theater will return to the studio in an epic return.
Epic return.
Dream Theater returns to the studio in May 2018.
Bringing back the heaviness and the progressive music.
Bringing it back.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
How was the Images and Words tour for you guys?
The Images and Words tour. So we went out. Dream Theater was on the road for a long, long time. We started out touring with an album called The Astonishing, which is our latest album. And then after we kind of stopped doing that, we took a little break, and then we went on the road doing the Images and Words tour. Images and Words, for those of you who don't know, is an album from 25 years ago. It's like Dream Theater's most successful album. There was a song called Pull Me Under on MTV. It was a big hit. And so we toured around the world doing that as well. And that was really exciting because that album just meant so much to so many people.
Yeah. And it must have been interesting for you guys kind of going back to that kind of core sound that started Dream Theater and sort of revisiting that era.
Totally. And I wasn't in the group when we did Images and Words. However, the Images and Words album was also an album that I really love, and it was important to me as well.
Well, I would say you've done it justice. Very well. So
thank you. Doing my best here.
Absolutely. So awesome. We got Dream Theater coming in the future, and I think that's exciting for all of us. Are there any other side projects? Anything else? Any fun things?
If you're a keyboard player out there, you might want to know that I'm doing KeyFest. I've been holding this thing for the last couple of years. KeyFest is what we call the ultimate hang for keyboard players. Right? It's when all the keyboard players get together, we geek out, we hang out, we play synthesizers, we learn, we jam, we eat, we party, we do everything.
That's awesome.
I know that most people think just drummers like to have fun, but keyboard players can have fun too, believe it or not. And I'm encouraging that and putting that out there. So this year we're doing it at Sweetwater in Fort Wayne, Indiana.
Fort Wayne,
So it's going to be a real heaven for keyboard players because, of course, they have all the gear in the world.
All the toys, yeah.
Yeah, all the toys. So please join me and my team at Sweetwater. It's April 26th through 29th.
All right.
We're doing that.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Well, this has been a joy, Jordan. We really appreciate having you here.
Shall I close it out with a tune, or what do you think?
You can close it out with a tune. You guys want one more tune?
One more little number? All right. Cool.
Take it away, sir. Yeah. Yeah, might as well. Jordan Rudess, everybody. Jordan, thank you so much for taking the time to come here. As a huge Dream Theater fan myself, this is a privilege to sit and talk shop with you.
And it's awesome to be here at QSC. Thank you for letting me blow some GeoShred.
My pleasure.
And hang out in the world of the best speakers.
Will you hang out for a minute and